Steel Plaza. Please stand clear of the doors.
You're listening to Darkest Corners of the World, where we feature original bands and artists scoured from all over the planet. Thanks for tuning in and telling a friend, and for donating to the show at www.paypal.me/Steel Plaza Podcast. I'll be your guide for this leg of the journey where we travel to Amsterdam, as close as you can get to a terrestrial Shambhala. Amsterdam is a major tourist draw, famous for the sight of sex workers soliciting from behind their windows and many coffee shops where visitors can light up a joint. A place where the noise and music used to be permanent. But now, the gates are closed to outsiders. Beginning in mid-March, when the Netherlands went into a semi-lockdown to combat the COVID-19 pandemic, tourism vanished from Amsterdam almost overnight. But that did not stop the music from leaking through. Today, we take a walk with Ron Coolen and pick his brain about his album Rise and what it takes to accomplish such feats of musical mastery on his 56-minute opus. Thanks for being here, Ron, and how is the Rapture treating you?
Hey guys, you're welcome. Thank you for being on the show. And indeed, it was a good summary of what happened over here. The country is on total lockdown ever since mid-March, and it still is, although we are opening bit by bit since last week, and we're doing some other bits next week. So that's kind of a big relief for a lot of people. It was a very strange period that we went through. And personally as well, since just 2 weeks before the country went on lockdown, I released my first album. I had been working on it for 3 years. Very hard, very dedicated. Finally was happy to bring it to birth, this album. And suddenly everything changed. So it was a very strange times. Very confusing also. But here we are. And still going strong and happy with all the media and all the press and all the reviews that are still there, happily. I'm still proud of the result and happy with the response from people so far.
Excellent. The music is still leaking through, and it made its way over here. That's what I'm talking about. So let's start with the concept behind your album. It sounds to me like you channeled every rock god influence, sat down at the musical blackjack table, bet on 17 and won.
Yeah. You can say that, but it's not like that it started in such a way. That's more when you look in hindsight to what is there, to what it led to. Then it often seems like a well thought plan. But when I started this, there was basically not really a plan, and I puzzled my way through what it has become now. It was a 3-year journey. Starting very simplistic with recording some basic ideas and turning them into songs. And then I wanted to do most of the instruments myself since I didn't want to be in a band anymore. I have been playing in bands for so many years, and I got fed up with all this band democracy and this band shit you have. With all people leaving and people going in and not delivering and not doing this and not doing that, and it's difficult in playing in bands, and I just got fed up with that at some point. I wanted to be on my own, but I can play some instruments but not all of them. So at some point I realized I can play drums, I can play rhythm guitars, I can do keyboards, can do bass, but I can't sing at all. I'm not good at playing guitar solos. So that at some point I thought, I need to have some guests that are really good at that, because a good vocal can make or break a song. And I'm sure that if I'm going to sing, it'll break the song. So I had to find singers, I had to find solo guitarists. And that's when the search for those guys started. And I was happy to find 12 of top-notch musicians that were willing to play a contribution to the album.
I think that's a great thing. It happened many years ago with, Ted Nugent's solo stuff. He couldn't sing. He didn't want to, so he'd hire guys to come in and sing. And a lot of people still think that's him singing on those old songs. It's not him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then he went on to, just to continue on Ted Nugent, to form a band called the Damn Yankees with one of the singers from Styx. So once again, he didn't sing on that album.
Yeah, Tommy Shaw, right?
Tommy Shaw, that's right. That's right.
Great band.
Great band. So yeah, I mean that's a cool thing to do. And I agree with getting fed up with band members coming and leaving or just simply not showing up day of recording. There's nothing more frustrating. I've been through that myself.
Yeah. It's at some point you get hopeless and desperate, with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's play one of your tracks off the album Rise. This one is called White Summer. Right back here on Darkest Corners of the World, speaking with Ron Coolen from Amsterdam about his album Rise. The song we just heard was White Summer. Ron, tell me a little bit about the background behind this song and what's it about?
Yeah, the basics of the song I wrote during my holiday in 2018. So I brought my laptop to the beach, and every morning I sat down at 6 in the morning writing songs for a few hours, and that's where the basic of this song was written. I had a singer in mind for the song. I approached him. The guy did not deliver. I had another one in mind, and that guy didn't deliver either. So although it was written quite early in the process, it was the last song that was actually finished, because I became kind of hopeless that since there were two singers that just left me with this song. And then I asked Keith St. John, who at that point already had sung a couple of songs, so my cooperation with him had grown. So I thought, yeah, let's ask Keith for this song, because he's done a couple of them already. And if I change some bits and pieces here and there, I can make it perfect for his voice. Because initially it had different... it was a softer song in the beginning. It was less guitar-oriented in the beginning, the first versions. It had more keyboard. It had even a horn section and trumpets in there. But that was when it was meant to be sung by another singer. And then I changed it and made it more oriental, made it more guitar oriented, which made it much better fit for Keith. And I think Keith did a really tremendous job. I think this is maybe one of my personal favorites on the album. Actually, it's kind of a personal story about Keith, and I don't know the real details about what he's singing about, but I like the lyrics, but I don't really know what's behind the story, but it's a personal one. So Keith is doing the vocals, great job, and there are two guitar solos on there from a French guy, which is called Stéphane Forté. He's a solo artist as well, and also played for many years in a band called Adagio, French band. And I think together it went perfect. They made the perfect song.
I would have to agree with you. And I did have a question. How did you get all these guys together? Did you just reach out to them via email?
Yeah, some of them I already knew, and that goes back quite some years, because I used to have hosting a radio show 10 years ago, 10 or 12 years ago.